Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Symbol by developer Lilith Megiddo, one of the same developers that worked on Crypt Worlds, which was another pretty fantastically strange game, and that is one thing that I absolutely enjoy doing on this series, is finding some of the strangest games I can. So from what I can tell, this is a first-person exploration game about exploring some sort of a discordant series of dreams, or at least one dream that's been scattered and broken apart. And it's definitely a bit on the dark and melancholy side, so be aware of that. Not sure if there's going to be any gore or anything, but we will get to that as we go, I suppose. So it appears that we've started off our little journey inside maybe an old burger joint. It's got some sort of like a diner-esque atmosphere to it, and there's this character behind the desk here, behind the counter, who we can say hey to, I suppose. And it makes like a groaning sound. There's like some ambient noise coming from the world around us. It doesn't seem to be particularly distinct. Sort of just like a hum with a little bit of like a noise distortion going on in the mixed, intermingled into that larger noise. And there seems to be a couple of burgers there just sitting on the griddles, just burning. So everything's in a state of stasis, it appears. And we've got these very, I don't know, disjointed kind of textures. I mean, they kind of work, though, in a strange way. Like, they're a little bit discordant from each other, but they form a more cohesive element together. What I mean specifically is, like, this wallpaper, or this wallpaper texture, I suppose, versus this brick texture. They look like they were sort of taken from two different games. And then you've got this polka dot going around the border, and everything is pretty rudimentary in terms of geometry, and then we've got this 2D sprite character standing here. So there's definitely a little bit of difference going on in the various points going that we're looking at here. There appears to be a key over here. I'm not sure if that's signifying to me that I need a key to get into the door. That seems likely, though, based on the way the reticle is changing to red. So we're going to wander outside of this building and have a look around and see what it is that we can get into in terms of trouble or discovery. It looks like behind the building there's a grave with a pretty scary face on it and possibly a cryptic symbol on the ground, or blood, I'm not sure which. Maybe either or, both, Okay, so it makes a little tone as we pick that up. Looking through here, I think this just brings us into the other side. So it's a, easy in, easy out kind of building. Not a whole lot going on, but it looks like this landscape stretches for quite a while in every direction, and it appears there are a few structures that we can actually go ahead and explore, so I'm going to be doing that for the majority of this episode. This is Berg. Fairly well labeled. What's going on with the moon up here? Sort of a sphere just hovering in the air, and then we've got, I can actually see it's literally a sky box, like we're inside of a giant cube. I can see the corners in each edge here, so let's check out our vehicle. Pretty interesting. I'm enjoying the texture work here. It's, I don't know, it's kind of smooth in a way. It reminds me of, like, Earthbound or something, and I'm not exactly 100% sure why, but it sort of puts me at ease compared to the rest of this environment, which seems somewhat menacing. But let us walk around in it. So first things first, I want to go check out what's going on over here. It looks like French fries shooting out of the ground, or something like that anyway. Maybe pylons or shards of what used to be structure, or maybe something entirely unearthly. I'm not sure what to make of it. I'm going to go with French fries. I think that was probably the most plausible of that group of assertions I just made. So what's going on over here, though? This building, well, I think that actually will give us some certainty as to what these structures might be, and it looks like there's some sort of wood or metal or stone, perhaps. It could be stone as well. We can make our way up here into the upstairs, and there is a key, so I suppose let's grab that. Looks a little bit like a clown's horn, or like a bicycle horn or something. Oh, and there's a little, like, Eggman sitting in a bowl here. Can I talk to you? No? Doesn't appear so. Oh, and I see some of that red marking down below as well. I should mention this game is totally free, so if you want to go ahead and peruse what you can in this bizarre dreamscape, you can feel free to do so. The link is going to be available right in the description of this video, as it always is. I guess we will head down there. I don't believe there's going to be any fall damage. I would be surprised if there was. Or we could just make some pretty sweet parkour jumping moves. Show off a little bit. What is this, overgrowth? Alright, let's keep things moving here. These Whatever these plants are definitely a strange shape as well. They almost remind me of... I don't know, they look like swords stuck into the ground a little bit. Or like grave markers, which actually would be more apropos, I suppose. Let's see what's going on with this. Oh, it's another of the same symbol. Alright, so we pick that one up as well. I'm not sure if we're collecting these for any particular reason, but, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we were inching our way towards some sort of narrative or exposition based on grabbing those counterpoints or measuring points, or whatever we want to call them, progress points. Making our way up onto this... Nope, this rock does not allow me to climb it for whatever reason. Got a big old invisible box around it. Alright, I guess we'll just avoid that and check out this other structure. Can we still see Berg, or is that... I think it's faded off into the distance now. Oh, creepy. There's more of these grave-like faces up on the top of the building, which I'm going to see if I can pick up. I'm going to guess, since they're up there, probably not, but we will find out. And we've got another one down below. Let's grab that. The first time when I started this up, when I did my sound check... Oh, see, this grave's different. Can't do anything with that one. I was walking around and just went outside the building. That was about as far as I'd gotten for my sound test. And I had the volume levels up way too loud, and I got a horrible jump scare when I picked up that grave, because it made a beeping sound. And I think the atmosphere is actually quite engrossing, and before I'd even noticed that, I was aware of, like, that the atmosphere had pulled me in. It already had. And it proceeded to scare the junk out of me when that loud sound happened in my ear. So how am I going to make it up any higher now? I'm going to hope there's some sort of stairway or something, because it looks like... Oh, can I make it up onto these? Like, barely? No, there isn't really duck, so I can't really duck jump or anything. I think that's about as far as I can get, but there does appear to be a ramp over here, so I'm going to take another look. If you've noticed, the palette of this game is deliberately quite gray. For the most part, aside from the introduction area and, well, the very first area and a couple of these stark colors, for the most part everything seems to be drab. You know, white, gray, pale, peach, cream, all of those types of things. Alright, we've got another gravestone. And I'm finding it very interesting that there's so many of these graves strewn about. I wonder what those are hinting at in the larger narrative scheme. I'm also wondering if there's any way for me to get up there. What is that? Is that RoboCop? Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? It's a giant RoboCop action figure.
I am Robert Cop 3. I am Robert Cop 3.
Alright, so he...
I am Robert Cop 3. I am Robert Cop 3.
Alright, he just wants to talk to us when we go click on that. There are just a few items here that we can actually interact with. Oh, and I missed this TV down here. You're gonna have to go and loop back around. I like that there's just a few points where we can actually notice, you know, things to interact with. For the most part, the environment has been pretty stark and broad. Oh, what is this? Pretty colors. No, not really much of anything there. Oh, did I just hear glass breaking? I don't know what's going on. But I think it serves better to, like, just give the player some breathing room, so there's not a ton of things to constantly be, you know, berating you or grabbing you and, you know, specifically trying to force you to look at anything in particular. The player comes to these interaction points instead of the other way around, which I find is a lot better for establishing atmosphere, and in this case, I think that's really the only way to go. I mean, if you want to make a game that's big and opened up like this, without any particular linear narrative, I think, yeah, just leave it all up to the player to discover at their own pace. So at this point I'm getting a little bit turned around. I'm not actually sure where the Berg is anymore, or how long can I really walk down this road. I keep jumping to see if I can get perspective as to if there's any... Oh, okay, I guess we've reached our invisible wall point now. I was going to see if there was anything off in the distance, but it doesn't appear so. I could just trace along the edges of this very desolate field and see if there's an end to this invisible wall when we get in this direction. There's another structure over there. It might have been one that I already explored, though. Kind of hard to say, because I'm all turned around now. You guys might have a better idea than me, even. Okay, I'm still moving in this direction. I could use a compass, really. Oh, maybe it's not box-shaped? No, it might be. I don't know. I might be wrong. Or maybe the box is not you know, at a 90-degree angle from these structures as I'm sort of imagining in my mind. If you look at these stars just right, and it's probably because they're just mapped to the faces of a cube, or the internal faces of a cube, it almost looks like we're looking at a cityscape, like way off in the distance, which may be intentional. You know, this level of abstraction may be put there intentionally to lead the player, at least subconsciously, to an even more sort of ethereal state where we're not sure if we're in, like, the waking realm, like in civilization, or in the middle of nowhere. And I think that's working pretty well. The atmosphere, again, is definitely... it's tense, it's somewhat menacing, but it's not over the top. Oh, what is that? Is there a figure up there on the second floor? It's certainly drawn my curiosity. I don't feel scared as much as I just feel interested and curious, and in general, just... I just want to, like... Oh, what is going on in there? We got colors. And we've also got whatever this is. Alright, well, guess not much. Okay, we found a book. And there is a character on the screen, and more books. And what does this do? Uh-oh. I hear creepy sounds going on in the background. What have I done? Uh-oh. Well, this isn't what I was expecting to happen. Well, I've learned my lesson. I suppose I've played enough of these Unity indie games that I've learned that a lot of the time they tend to end abruptly, and that was no exception. Apparently finding that book kicks you out to the desktop, so be aware. If anyone out there is trying to collect things, you may not want to grab that book until you're absolutely done exploring. And I suppose I should probably leave things at this point, just so there's still a little bit for you guys to go find out there, because I have a feeling there's at least one structure, if not two, that I hadn't seen yet. And I'm also not sure how far things go in any other direction. Maybe I didn't go over here far enough, or over there, or I don't know what. So anyway, I guess we will wrap up our episode on Symbol. Definitely a pretty interesting concept. I do enjoy games like this immensely. So if you're aware of any other ones that you'd like me to check out, like a freeform exploration, like ethereal dream state style game, especially, you know, first-person games that have been very experimental lately, I'd love to see more, so feel free to let me know in the comments. I'd also love to hear what your impressions are in the comments as well, so if you have a specific thing that you'd like to mention that came to mind as you were watching, feel free to let me know. I'm curious to hear pretty much anything, you know, free association-wise that you came up with as you were listening to this and watching this. And, you know, feel free to go check it out yourself, go grab it, play it. Let me know what you think. If you get anything particularly interesting that happens in your game that I didn't experience, let me know that as well. Hopefully not too spoilery, but I guess, you know, it's a sort of a shorter form experience, so maybe spoilers aren't all that bad here. And have I just found another building I haven't seen? Maybe, maybe not. I might have seen this one already. Anyway, I suppose that will pretty much do it for another episode, so as always, be sure to check out the description for the game link itself, as well as my other social media links. If you'd like to go check out over 500 other episodes of Indie Impressions, just head on over to indie-impressions.com and just click on the little Indie Impressions button in the top right corner, and that will get you to all of the other episodes I've done. And they're all categorized and sorted, and there's a little tags menu on the side, and you can browse through them at your leisure and find some that appeal to you based on whatever genres or platforms or payment styles that you like. So if you just want to play browser games or free games or Steam games, all that stuff is there for you to peruse and hopefully find something you enjoy. So, of course, if you're still enjoying the series, feel free to let me know. I'd love to have any support that you're willing to give that you think I deserve, of course. Likes are always welcome and help more people find the show. So if you think that's something I deserve, I absolutely would love that. And that's pretty much going to do it, guys. So head on over to my other social media as well, Twitter, Facebook, whatever else you find in there. And be sure to let me know something in the comments. And I will catch you back here again tomorrow. New episodes are every single day. So I hope to see you back then. And I hope you have a lovely night. Take care, guys.